Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Chris Dale speaking to you. I wanted to make a quick video on a specific topic, basically MITRE ATT&CK and mentorship. So mentorship is something that I frequently get requests for. People want to reach me on a one-on-one basis, perhaps after attending my classes or seeing my YouTube videos. And just so you know, just as I replied to an email to a friend of mine, João I, he asked me, hey, I would love to learn from you, Chris. Can I pay you or can I somehow sit down with you for a mentorship session? And my answer to these things, in fact, I'll just read whatever to João. Basically, nice to hear from you, João. I'm sorry, I don't take on formal mentorships. It wouldn't feel right to charge individuals money for me to mentor them, and also I don't have the time and attention to take on a mentorship. So I wouldn't want to do you a disservice. Instead, what I said to João is, why don't you, for example, come up with some content that you would want to see me make a YouTube video on? And that way I can share the content with you, my dear friend João. Thank you very much for the email. And I can share it to the world. And João came back to me and said, I would love to see how I can use the MITRE ATT&CK as part of my learning adventures. The MITRE ATT&CK, this is one framework out of several frameworks of MITRE. And what I love about these frameworks is that they are so good for learning. They have, for example, an overview of a kill chain here. So a kill chain means that the steps an attacker may take from step to step, going this way, from all the way from reconnaissance and running tools and programs on the systems to evading defenses, all the way over to actions on objective or other, often called, let's see if I can scroll this table here, there we go, or otherwise called impact. So they have this kill chain of the different swim lanes or the different places techniques might reside to allow the attackers to do certain things. Attackers may do reconnaissance, but they could also skip it. They could go straight into execution and persistence, or they might skip persistence at all, like at large. They don't have to do these things, but they are options. Now, I love this kill chain here from MITRE is because they give us a list of a ton of different techniques that allows us to study techniques. If you can understand the core techniques of how attackers work, instead of just trying to solve specific things, if you can understand why the attackers are doing something, you can much better understand how to prevent it, detect it, and basically make your environments harder for attackers to break into. Okay? And I love this table because they're all links that I can click and I can study. Bits jobs, for example. What are those? You might sit down, say for yourself, commit to learning. Every 30 minutes, every morning, you sit down with your coffee cup, or maybe after work every day for 30 minutes, you will study. You will figure out what the background intelligence transfer service means. How does it apply to defense, evasion, and persistence? What is bits jobs? You will read and you will understand what are bits. How is it a legitimate feature of Windows, but also being abused by threat actors and other hackers alike? In fact, MITRE, they give us what we call the nomenclature. So they will basically standardize on a language that allows the industry to reuse the same language so we can attribute techniques and ideas to the same concepts. So it's just not just a huge mess of different techniques and different concepts. We will try to bring it down into containers or techniques and sub-techniques that we can study on and learn from. That is hugely valuable. Thank you, MITRE. That is amazing. MITRE being a non-for-profit organization over in the US, okay? Now, the beautiful thing as well, not only can we study, we can learn, and we can basically increase our knowledge like you would do in like 20 years ago. You would have a door-to-door salesperson trying to sell you a lexicon of information. And that lexicon would keep you busy for weeks on time. You would open up the lexicon, you would study some things. It would basically increase your general knowledge of things. This will, just like a lexicon, increase your general knowledge of cybersecurity. In fact, for MITRE ATT&CK, it will allow you to understand how attackers can do reconnaissance, research development, initial access, and so much more. And for specific techniques, you can understand them, ask yourself, does my organization, well, detect, prevent, block these things? Does our endpoint detection response solution actually understand bits jobs, and can it flag out these things if there are bits jobs running from anomalous locations or users running bits jobs for the first times ever, for example? Furthermore, you might have a question where your CISO or your boss or the general industry is warning you against a specific, say, threat actor group. And what MITRE tries to do is that they're trying to provide us with some threat actor intelligence as well, some cyber threat intelligence. So in the procedure examples here, they will actually show you who are using bits jobs. So they're saying that, hey, these threat actors, among many other procedures, are using bits jobs, and that's why you need to study bits jobs. They're showing you why bits jobs is valuable to control and secure. Maybe your boss is saying you need to pay attention to APT41. APT41, threat actor group that is attributed as a Chinese state-sponsored espionage group, right? Your CISO might say, APT41, can we protect ourselves against them? And you go like, I have no idea. How should I know? Well, MITRE tries to let you know by associating threat actor groups with techniques used. Here you have a technique on application layer protocol. It has 4 sub-techniques that you can study and ask yourself, do I have a web application firewall to understand better my web protocols? Do you have any FTP? Is my mail server secure? You can go study these things and ask yourselves, am I protecting myself for APT41? But not just for such things, for so much more. Bits jobs, for example. APT41 use bits admin to download and install payloads. All of a sudden, you have something which is very applicable. It's no longer just a bunch of fluff techniques here and there, like the moon and the stars. Hackers, they're gonna break in no matter what. All of a sudden, we can attribute these things down to specific core concepts that we can start to learn and understand. And that, my friends, is beautiful, okay? We can also take this a bit further. So to conclude this video, I'm gonna show you the Attack Navigator, which is where we can go in and we can basically attribute a bunch of different techniques to I wouldn't say attribute, we can take techniques and we can colorize them in the table of the kill chain. So right now we have the same table as before, except that it looks a bit different. So we have the kill chain up here, and we have now colorized the different techniques that are being used by APT41. Okay, so we have a colorization type of scheme that we can use, and we can even click things and we can recolor them. For example, yes, I have 100% control on the registry keys and startup folders. That's one of the measures that my team is properly handling today. Bits jobs, say for example, you're working on bits jobs, you'll say work in progress here. Bits jobs, we're starting to build up some defenses towards bits jobs. But what about PowerShell, Unix shell, Windows command shell? What about all of these other things? You can use this Attack Navigator to basically build better control in your organization. Better visibility of how far you have gone. Are we there yet? And what remains? Hopefully you use this Attack Navigator, you use Attack MITRE Framework and in the other frameworks to not just try to solve things. I need 100% coverage. Give me green on all the different things. Hopefully you won't be that individual and you will look at this as an opportunity to understand, build knowledge of the fundamental techniques that attackers use. And you will notice that this industry becomes easier and easier for you to be in. All right, that's the finish of my video. I hope you liked it. I wanted to keep it around 10 minutes-ish instead of the webinars that are like 60 minutes and so on. Hopefully you appreciate this type of mentorship. Instead of me going one-on-one corresponding with people, I can instead challenge the people who want mentorship in coming up with the content that they would love to see, so that we can produce it together and share it to everybody. After all, it's 2022 and we can. With, of course, the goal of securing everybody better, making the internet a safer place for our kids, making the world safer for our older generations, and so on. Alright, so that's been my video. I hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did. Maybe comment, ask questions if there's anything you would see part of like a video like this. I want to hear from you, okay? So reshare this stuff if you find it interesting, and follow me on the different social media and so on. If you like to see where I am on social media, check out https into bio Chris Dale, and you will find my links to previous presentations. You will find my links to excuse me, to social media accounts and so on. So a very simple URL, put that into your web browser and you will see that you have Twitter, LinkedIn. I would love to see you all on these platforms. You have my recent presentations, you have webcasts, content, and so much more. All right, so that's it for today. Until next time, hopefully everybody has a safe and prosperous life. Stay safe out there. Love you all. Bye-bye.